The Empire of Chesabon, vast, proud, unrelenting, its banners flew proudly across Sachea, an expansive continent at the center of the world, from the frozen reaches in the north to the sun-baked mercantile cities of the south, from the windswept plains of the east to the jagged citadels of the west. The Empire's reach even extended into the ancient Moriorian forest, home of the elusive elves, and deep beneath the earth, into the stone-hued halls of the Northern Star dwarves. Beastmen, orcs, golems, druids, dragons, no matter the race, all bend the knee. At times, its iron legions were invincible. But everything good has an end. The year is 990 of the Imperial calendar. Emperor Constant XI met an untimely death. His newborn son Eskina II succeeded to the throne. However, Grand Duke Averio of Caedros held the real power. Averio hollowed out the already waning empire from within, selling governorships to the highest bidders, stripping the wealth from the common people, replacing the competent officials with inept sycophants. Meanwhile, Averio's treasury swelled in size, and those who spoke out vanished. As Averio corruption ran rampant within the imperial court, the empire's grip on the outer provinces began to slip. Sensing the void left by a weakening central authority, ambitious nobles and lords seized their moment. One by one, they broke away, severing ties with the Crown Throne and declaring independence. Across Sergia, fractured kingdom and sovereign states began to take shape, carved from the bones of the once unified empire. Yet not all had abandoned the empire. Across the factual lands, many still rallied to its cause. Though scattered, these imperial loyalists kept their oath to the emperor. Soon they would clash with the breakaway rams. Ambition met tradition, rebellion met order, and thus began the Great War of the Crowds. As the powerless Emperor Eskina II looked out from the palace's high windows, the young ruler pondered the fate of the empire he had inherited. To the southwest of the empire, the harsh wildlands hostile to humans was the home of the demihumans, the wolfkin, bearkin, centaurs, merfolks, and others. For centuries, they had endured the empire's oppressive rule. Under Regent Averio's reign, the empire's cruelty reached new heights, pushing the demihumans to their breaking point. In the Wolfkin fortress of Lycaia, Fandrel, the fierce chieftain of the Wolfkin, killed the rapacious imperial governor of Noxus province. And founded the demi-human states of Chesabon. Through diplomacy and force, Chesabon swiftly expanded its territorial extent. In the spring of 2002, Fandral led his army south and defeated the combined force of the merfolk tribes of the Southern Sea and the hot-tempered Centaur clans of the Open Plain in the decisive Battle of the Claws. This event and the subsequent unification of those influential tribes under Noxborn propelled the young nation's fame to new heights. Word of its strength and unity spread quickly, drawing countless demi-human races to its banner. In spring 2004, Noxborn took his boldest step yet. An army led by General Grimnar Barebone of the Bearkin, the trusted right-hand man of Fandral, marched on Derinium, the stone wall capital of the Turtlekin people. Before that, the King of the Turtles had refused all offers of alliance from Noxborn, choosing instead to remain loyal to the crumbling empire. To Fandral, this was a betrayal to the demihumans, a betrayal that warranted the gravest punishment. The Turtlekin, as slow as they were wise, their stubborn way of thinking was matched by unwavering patience, discipline, and unparalleled defense. Derinium reflected their nature to the extreme, a fortress like no other, built into the veld cliff of a jagged coastline. Its towering black stone walls were surrounded by vast bodies of water and huge swathes of swampland. The Turtle believed their sanctuary was beyond any conqueror's reach. The army of demihumans, 30,000 strong, comprised of wolves, bears, and centaur warriors. While the defenders had 80,000 men. However, most was conscripts, being volunteers among the male populace of the settlement. What ensued was a grueling siege that lasted for 2 weeks. Thousands of Noxborn men threw themselves against the walls of Derinium like rising tides against a cliff. Turtlekin defenders made full use of Derinium's unique location and their natural mastery over amphibious warfare to repel the superior Noxborn forces time after time. Eventually, the far more numerous Noxborn overwhelmed the whited turtle soldiers and broke through the gates. Many turtle citizens evacuated to the royal fleet, but King Turtle and his son remained behind. If Derinium falls, so will they. After hours of fighting, The exhausted father and son duo was cut down. The fortress of Derinium was captured. The remaining Turtle-kin who could not flee were enslaved by the Wolf-kin. The royal fleet carrying the Turtle-kin refugees escaped northward, seeking shelter in the yet untouched settlements of the Loyalists. The fall of Derinium sent tremors to the western provinces of the Empire. News of the disaster reached Brasium, the heart of the state of Adentia, the Empire's central stronghold on the western frontier. Brasium was home to the legendary Celestial clan, led by a pure-blooded Celestial, Chesabon, the last of his kind, who had walked the earth for over 3,000 years. Over 1,200 years ago, still wandering Chesabon found love with a mortal woman. The couple settled in the obscure Nazquet Valley, founding a humble village where they could live peacefully. Over the centuries, that quiet settlement would soon grow into a prosperous city, Brasium. From their union came many children, half celestial, half human, whose descendants would go on to found the Celestial clan. Each generation inherited a fragment of K's divine power, manifested in the form of lightning magic, a force capable of both creation and destruction.
That
1,000 years ago, it was during the time that the founding emperor of the Chesabon Empire went on a conquest that spanned the entire length of the continent. He chanced upon the hidden haven of K and his family. Two great men did not clash. Instead, they spoke long into the night about power, purpose, and peace. By dawn, a pact was forged. K was named the Celestial Duke, Lord of the Nazquet Valley, granted full autonomy over his lands as guardians of the Nazquet Valley and its surrounding lands. The Celestial clan had long upheld peace and order in the region, but the Turtle Kingdom's tragic fate struck deep. The shaken K felt deep remorse at the passing of his 500-year-old friend, King Turtle. The Duke decided to lend his clan's strength to the Imperial governor of Nogongisian province, Cairo Garcia, for the first time in so many years. The Celestial clan sought to enter the war. From Brasium, a host of 20,000 Imperial soldiers marched southward, determined to crush the rising threat, catching the occupying forces by surprise. The Adentians laid siege to the Derinium and swiftly reclaimed it. One month later, the Imperial army confronted a vast Nox-born host on the plain of Gwei, led once again by the formidable Grimna Bellborn. demihumans charged, rushing into the Imperial legions with raw, primal fury. Despite the discipline of the Imperial Alliance, demihumans' innate strength gave them an edge in combat. However, just as Grimna was certain of his victory, the sky turned. In a flash of ancient power, the lightning scrolls of Adentia were unleashed. Bolts of searing energy cascaded from the heavens, ripping through the Wolfkin ranks in devastating arcs. As if it was planned, Celestial clan members entered the fray. Moving with otherworldly grace, these half-celestials struck like falling stars, cutting down hundreds of Wolfkin warriors in mere moments. At the heart of the battlefield, the inevitable cast came. Kay Astrava, the eternal guardian of Adentia, met Grimna Barebone, the champion of the demihumans. The two most powerful beings on the field stood face to face, and with a single devastating strike, Kay severed the head of his foe. Grimna, who had not tasted defeat in decades, fell. His death ended the Wolfkin charge, sealing the day's victory. The Battle of Lightning, as later generation would call it, marks a pivotal turning point in the War of the Crowns. Seemingly unstoppable momentum of the demihumans was stopped cold on its track by an Imperial host. For the first time since the war began, an organized and determined army from the Empire scored a decisive victory against a concentrated rebel force. It delivered a clear message to the rest of the complacent and conceited rebels. The Empire, though bruised, was far from broken. The War of the Crowns was far from over. It had only just begun.